In this video, we're looking at computations of integers. So integers are just whole numbers, and these numbers can be positive or they can be negative. So we're just going to cover some of your basic operations with integers. So the first thing we're going to look at is adding and subtracting these integers. So you've got somewhat of a formula there. Sometimes it's easier to do an actual question to make sense, but if you have a number, let's say our number is 3, and we're going to add on a negative number. Let's say we're going to add on negative 2. Okay, so we have 3 plus negative 2. That's the same as writing 3 take away 2. So it's easier to write 3 take away 2 than to write 3 plus negative 2. Okay, so 3 take away 2 is 1. Negative 1. Just 1 equals 1. Now, we move on to the next one. We have, let's say, we have 3 take away our negative 2. All right. So 3 take away negative 2 is the same as having 3 plus 2. So 5. So how I like to think of it, if these two are right next to each other and they're the same, it becomes our plus. All right. Now, if they're different, it becomes a negative. Okay, so remember, if you're subtracting a negative number, it becomes a plus. Now, when we're working with multiplying and dividing, if you have a positive, so a positive times a negative equals a negative. So if I had 3 times negative 2, that's going to get me negative 6. Now, if I have a negative times a negative, that gives me a positive. So if I had negative 3 times negative 2, that's going to give me 6. Okay? Now, same works for division. We have a positive divided by a negative, we get a negative answer. So if we have 3 divided by negative 4, we're going to get 3 over negative 4. Negative divided by negative is going to give me a positive. So if I have negative 3 divided by negative 4, that's going to get me 3 over 4. Now, another thing we're going to introduce you to is what we call the lowest common multiple. So the lowest common multiple, or LCM, is the smallest multiple shared by two numbers. So let's say I have 6 and 9. Okay. The lowest common multiple is the numbers that when you multiply these numbers out, they have it shared. So this one is going to be 18. All right. Now you might ask, wait, what? So 6 times 3 is 18, and 9 times 2 is 18. All right. I'm going to go into more depth with this next example just to show you. So here we have find the LCM for 4 and 7. So I'm going to list out all the multiples of 4 and all the multiples of 7. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Okay, so that was for 4. Now if I do it for 7, we have 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. So we have a lot there. So we need to now find our lowest common multiple. So we look for where the smallest number that's the same. And we end up with 28 and 28. So our LCM is 28. So the highest common factor now is the largest factor that's shared between numbers. Now this usually helps when you're doing division. So if I'm going to go into this, let's say we have 24 and 30. Okay, and I want to find its highest common factor. So I want to list out the factors of 24 and the factors of 30. Now, the factors are just what two numbers multiply to give 24. So I know 1 and 24. I know 2 and 12. Then we have 4 and 6. And that's it. So those would be my factors of 24. And then I do the same for 30. 1 and 30, 2, 15, 3, 10, and 5 and 6. Okay. I'm then looking for the number, the biggest number shared between these. So 6. So 6 is my highest common factor. So we're going to do the same thing here. If we have 20 and 8. So we're here, we're going to have 1, 2, 4, 6. Not 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. And then down here we have 1, 2, 4, and 8. So 4 and 4. So 4 is my highest common factor. Alright, prime numbers. So prime numbers only have two factors, 1 and itself. So I'll just give you a list of some. 3, the factors of 3 are just 1 and 3. 7, the factors of this is 1 and 7. 13, 1 and 13. So they're all prime numbers, alright? They only have two factors, one combination that can multiply together to give 3, only 1 and 3. Order of operations. Okay. Deal with your brackets first. Then deal with any powers. And then you want to multiply, divide, going from left to right. And then lastly, addition, subtraction from left to right. Okay. So, first things first is we're going to do our brackets first. So we have -2 stays there. We're going to keep that first negative there. And then we have -3 times 12. Now that's -36 plus and -10 over here. All right. Now, these brackets here, they're a bit different. Okay, they're just indicating that that's a negative number. All right. So what I'm actually going to do is tidy this combination of numbers up here to make things neater. So -2. Now we have a negative and a negative. We know makes a positive, 36. Then we have a plus and a negative, so -10, like that. And now we just look at simplifying it down completely. We end up with 24.